You want to change your life? Then start right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. You see, every second you wait is a second you lose. Not just time, but belief, purpose, fire. People talk about motivation like it's something that shows up with coffee in the morning. But the truth, discipline beats motivation. Faith outlasts fear. And grind real, relentless, painful grind will always outshine talent that sleeps in. Let me ask you something. What are you doing with your gift? Because you have one. Yeah, you. Don't look around, I'm talking to you. You've got something in you the world hasn't seen yet. But you keep hiding it behind excuses. I'm not ready. I don't have the money. I don't know the right people. Stop. Stop lying to yourself. You're not stuck. You're comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of growth. You weren't born to be comfortable, you were born to conquer. You were born to struggle, rise, fall, and rise again. That's how you grow roots. That's how you earn your stripes. See, most people want a blessing, but they don't want the burden. They want the win, but not the work. They pray for the mountain to move, but they don't bring a shovel. Let me tell you something. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. Every step you take in the dark, that's faith. Every door slammed in your face, that's direction. Every failure, that's foundation. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Prepared for something bigger than you imagined. Prepared for a stage you didn't see coming. Prepared to carry a light in rooms built to break you. But you gotta stay hungry. You gotta stay humble. Because the higher you rise, the deeper your roots need to be. Let people laugh. Let them doubt you. Let them call your vision crazy. Because one day, they'll say, I always knew you had it. But you'll know the truth. You had you when nobody else did. You kept walking when your legs were shaking. You kept believing when nobody clapped. And you kept going when quitting was easier. So, if you want to change your life, wake up every day and remind yourself, you were built for this. You were called for this. And you're just getting started. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. That line right there is the difference between wishing and working, between hoping and earning. Everyone has dreams. Everyone wants success, freedom, abundance, a better life. You can sit in a room full of people and ask who wants to be successful, and every hand will go up. But then you ask who's willing to sacrifice sleep, comfort, ego, weekends, and even relationships to chase that dream, and suddenly the room gets quiet. Because the dream is free. It costs nothing to imagine a better life. It costs nothing to daydream about the mansion, the car, the applause. You can sit on your couch, close your eyes, and live the life of your dreams. But the price of the hustle, that's where most people check out. Hustle is the rent you pay for your dreams to become real. Hustle is what separates the talkers from the walkers. It's not pretty. It's not filtered. Hustle shows up at 4 a.m. when no one's watching. Hustle works through rejection, through fear, through silence, through pain. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're scared. Hustle doesn't wait for motivation. It shows up on days you feel like quitting. It shows up when you failed 5 times in a row. And it shows up when the world tells you to sit down and stay in your lane. You see, hustle doesn't guarantee success, but a lack of hustle guarantees failure. The dream might be born from talent or inspiration, but hustle is what carries it. Hustle is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. And that bridge is made from every decision you make when nobody's watching. It's built from every choice to show up when you could have walked away. It's in every small, silent victory. The early mornings, the late nights, the repetition, the discomfort, the sacrifice. You can't download hustle. You can't borrow it. You can't fake it for long. Hustle exposes you. It shows your character. It reveals how bad you really want it. Because when everything gets hard, and it will, the hustle is the only thing that will carry you forward. Not the dream, not the hype, not the compliments, the hustle. And the truth is, some people fall in love with the dream, but not the process. They want the reward, but not the grind. They want the body, but not the reps. They want the business, but not the risk. They want the success, but not the sleepless nights. They forget that every champion bleeds. Every legend has scars. Every breakthrough comes after a breakdown. Hustle demands a price, and that price It's everything you've got. Every ounce of focus, every moment of effort, every drop of sweat. You pay for your dream with pieces of yourself, your time, your energy, your comfort. That's the cost of greatness. The dream gives you the destination, but the hustle carves out the road. It's ugly, it's lonely, and it's thankless. You don't get applause when you're training in silence. No one claps when you're up studying at 2 a.m. No one celebrates you when you say no to parties, no to distractions, no to quick dopamine hits. That's the part they don't post. But that's the part that matters most. Because that's where your character is built. That's where your hunger is tested. That's where your foundation is laid. You don't rise when the lights are on. You rise in the shadows. You rise in the discipline no one sees. Hustle teaches you patience. It teaches you grit. It humbles you. You learn that success isn't something you chase one seat, something you fight for daily. And some days, you don't feel strong enough to fight, but you do it anyway. That's hustle. It's a mindset, a code, a commitment. The dream is the spark, but hustle is the fire. The dream is what gets you started, but hustle is what keeps you going when the excitement dies. When the road gets hard, when nobody believes in you, when it feels like nothing's working, that's when hustle kicks in. That's when the real work begins. And that's when most people give up. Not because they didn't have a dream, but because they didn't want to pay the price. You got to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to give? Because if you think your dream should come easy, you don't understand the game. You want to live a life few people get? Then do what few people are willing to do. Stay late. Wake up early. Outwork, outlearn, outlast everyone around you. Let them talk. Let them sleep. Let them laugh. You've got work to do. You're not entitled to the dream just because you want it. You earn it through sweat, sacrifice, and staying the course. You show the world you're serious not by what you say, but by what you do when nobody's watching. Because the dream is free, but the hustle will cost you everything. You're not stuck, you're comfortable. That's a truth most people don't want to hear. They say they feel trapped. They say life isn't moving. They blame their circumstances, their boss, their past, the economy. But deep down, the real reason they're not growing is because they found a way to survive without stretching. They've found a zone where things are familiar, even if they're not fulfilling. That's not being stuck. That's choosing safety over growth. That's choosing to settle because change feels risky. Comfort is a quiet killer. It doesn't come in loud and dramatic. It doesn't strike like a lightning bolt. It creeps in slowly, disguising itself as peace, pretending to be relief, whispering lies like you're fine where you are, or maybe this is all you're meant to be. And once it wraps itself around your life, it convinces you to stop reaching. You tell yourself you're just being patient, that you're waiting for the right time, that things will get better eventually. But time doesn't heal wasted potential. Time doesn't reward people who sit still. It rewards those who move, who decide, who break out of routines and challenge what they've always known. Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. It's on the edge of your limits. It's beyond the schedule you're used to, past the habits that keep you small. But stepping out of comfort requires courage. Not motivation, not approval, courage. The kind that wakes you up early when your bed feels warm, the kind that speaks up when your voice shakes, the kind that takes the risk when failure is guaranteed, but regret is worse. You want something more, something bigger, something meaningful, but you're still clinging to the same patterns, the same people, the same stories that keep you safe. You can't change your life until you're willing to disrupt your comfort. That means doing the thing you're afraid of. That means choosing discipline over convenience. That means showing up when it's boring, painful, and slow. You're not stuck. You just haven't decided that your current life is unacceptable. You haven't gotten mad enough. You haven't gotten hungry enough. You haven't gotten honest enough to say, I'm not okay with this. Comfort makes you settle. It makes you say, it's not that bad. When deep down, you know it's not what you were made for. You weren't built to just survive. You were built to create, to impact, to lead, to break limits. But that doesn't happen when your main goal is to feel good. It happens when your goal is to be better. Better than yesterday. Better than your excuses. Better than your fear. You have everything you need to move forward. You've got ideas. You've got fire. You've got something inside of you that refuses to be average. But comfort has muted your hunger. It's numbed your instincts. It's taught you to stay quiet when you should roar. It's convinced you that effort isn't worth it, that risk should be avoided, that success is only for the lucky ones. That's a lie. The truth is, the moment you choose growth over comfort, everything starts changing. Not immediately, not overnight, but the second you say, "I'm done living like this," you start waking up. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start feeling powerful instead of pitiful. You start becoming the person you were meant to be. But as long as you keep saying, "I'm stuck," you're giving away your power. You're surrendering your ability to choose. The truth is, you're not stuck in a job. You've accepted it. You're not stuck in a routine. You've stopped challenging it. You're not stuck in a version of yourself. You've just gotten used to it. And maybe it's time to admit that comfort is more dangerous than struggle. Because struggle builds strength, but comfort builds walls. Struggle teaches resilience, but comfort teaches passivity. Struggle wakes you up. Comfort puts you to sleep. Every person who's changed their life started with one choice: to step out of what was easy and walk into what was uncertain. They didn't have it all figured out. They didn't feel ready. They just decided that the pain of staying the same was worse than the pain of change. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they're not superheroes. They just got tired of playing small. They said no to the lie that comfort equals happiness. They said yes to growth, even when it hurt. And if they can do it, so can you. Your greatness won't come from staying where it's easy. It will come from doing what feels impossible right now. You're not stuck, you're just choosing comfort over purpose. But you don't have to anymore. You can shift. You can move. You can decide that the version of you sitting in comfort isn't the final version. You can start becoming the person you were born to be. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Life has a way of testing those who carry something powerful inside them. The storms, the setbacks, the silence, they're not here to destroy you. They're here to build you. But when you're in it, when you're walking through the fire, it's hard to believe there's any purpose in the pain. It feels personal, it feels unfair. You start asking why. Why me? Why now? Why does it always seem harder for you than it is for everyone else? But maybe the question isn't why, it's what. What is this moment trying to teach you? What strength is being forged in this fire? What version of you is being shaped through the struggle? Because the people who make it to the other side of greatness, they all share one thing: they've been through something. They've been broken, betrayed, misunderstood, overlooked, rejected, and somehow they kept moving. Somehow they kept showing up, not because it was easy, not because it made sense, but because something inside them whispered that this wasn't the end, that the valley they were in was preparing them for a mountain they hadn't even seen yet. Preparation doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like losing. Sometimes it looks like waiting. Sometimes it looks like working with no recognition, giving with no return, speaking when no one's listening. But just because no one's clapping doesn't mean the work doesn't matter. The seed doesn't break the soil and bloom on the same day. There's a season of silence, a season of hidden growth, a season of being misunderstood. That's not punishment. That's protection. That's foundation. That's where roots grow. The truth is, everyone wants the platform, but not everyone is ready for the pressure that comes with it. And sometimes life holds back the spotlight because it's still sharpening the blade, still building the backbone, still developing the resilience needed to carry the calling. Because the higher you go, the stronger your character needs to be. The more influence you gain, the more integrity you must hold. That's why the preparation season feels heavy. It's meant to strengthen what will be tested later. You're not going through this just for you. There's someone years from now who will need your story. They'll need your scars. They'll need to see that someone like them made it out. So don't curse the preparation. Don't run from the process. Don't despise the delays. That's where the real shaping happens. That's where you learn how to lead, how to love, how to endure. The pain you're feeling now might just be the qualification for the purpose that's ahead. It's easy to feel forgotten in the preparation season, to think you've been passed over, to watch others rise while you're still stuck. But just because someone else's chapter looks different doesn't mean you're behind. Everyone's path is unique. Everyone's preparation looks different. And sometimes the greater the calling, the longer the preparation. That's not a curse, that's a compliment. It means you're being trusted with more. It means you're being built to last. Pain teaches you what comfort never could. It teaches you how to fight, how to surrender, how to rebuild from nothing, how to see clearly when the fog lifts. When everything is stripped away: titles, validation, applause, that's when you meet the real you. That's when you discover your source, your center, your strength. And when you find it in the middle of a storm, you never lose it again. That's the gift of preparation. It doesn't just build what you do, it builds who you are. You weren't made to break. You were made to bend, to endure, to rise. You weren't made to be average. You weren't made to settle. And deep down, you know it. That's why you can't quit, even when it hurts. That's why you keep going, even when no one believes. Because something in you knows this isn't punishment, it's preparation for something more, for something greater, for something that only someone who's been through the fire can carry. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's hard. But pain with purpose hits different. You don't just cry, you grow. You don't just fall, you rise. You don't just lose, you learn. And what you gain in the process, no one can take away. You earn your confidence. You earn your wisdom. You earn your voice. And when the time comes, when the door opens, when the light finally hits the stage you've been preparing for, you won't just show up, you'll be ready. Ready in a way you wouldn't have been if you hadn't been broken, if you hadn't waited, if you hadn't struggled. The preparation is the proving ground. It's where champions are built in silence. It's where leaders are formed in failure. It's where warriors are born in weakness. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And that preparation, it's not in vain. It's not wasted. It's not meaningless. It's the foundation under your feet when everything around you starts to shake. It's the fire in your spirit when the world tells you no. It's the reason you'll keep going when others quit.